In the 70s, arcades were dominated by a singular phenomenon: Space Invaders. Grossing billions of dollars in quarters, you couldn't hardly walk into a bar or a bowling alley without seeing those little alien bastards. Could anything stop their reign of terror? Enter Asteroids, the brainchild of two Atari designers, Lyle Raines and Ed Logg. Asteroids took inspiration from Space War, one of the earliest video games ever made. It jettisoned aliens in favor of simple space rocks. Players controlled a spaceship with directional and thrust maneuvers as they blasted their way through meteoroids and aliens. Yes, there were still also some aliens. Asteroids made use of vector graphics as opposed to the more commonly seen bitmap or raster graphics. This means that the game's images are derived directly from geometric shapes defined on a Cartesian plane. And if you understand what that means, you're smarter than I am. What's important is that the game used shapes and lines to create a sharp, clear look with bright, monochrome visuals that drew attention from every corner of the arcade and kept that attention thanks to players' drives to get a high score. It became Atari's biggest arcade seller of all time and kicked Space Invaders to the curb. Join us now as we strap on our helmets and blasteroid some asteroids. It's a video game podcast.
Wow.
And there's so much to discuss. One of us knows all about them.
That's you.
And the other one's a dunce.
That's me.
You're gonna learn about the very best games with two annoying dorks.
Fatality.
From asteroids to Zelda. From adventure to Zork. We have no life, and we feel no shame. We need your help, 'cause we're bad with games. Bad with games. Welcome to the show. Got another good one for you this week. My name's Jonathan.
My name's Will.
And we are Bad with games.
Man, how many times can I figure out a new way to say that this is a highly anticipated episode?
I don't know, but maybe one more.
Maybe one more after that, because we're now 3 for 4 of games mentioned in our opening theme song, Asteroids.
That's right. That's this week's game, Asteroids, the arcade game released in 1979. What a year that was, you know?
Sure. I don't know.
The year of Alien.
Because it's in the Asteroids game. There's an alien.
That's right. This is an Atari game. It was in arcades. What do you want? Why are you laughing?
No, keep going.
I'm just telling everyone about it.
Right.
Look. I'm sick.
Mm-hmm.
My brain is fogged. I should be asleep. I don't know what happened. I wasn't sick 24 hours ago.
I know what happened. You went and saw your family or some shit.
But that was not... I haven't done that since Thursday.
Yeah, there's an incubation period. This is why you should never see your family.
Listen, I agree. So I hope the listeners and viewers appreciate that I'm mustering together all my strength to try to appear cogent and energetic on today's program.
I appreciate it, babe.
Don't call me that. Unless it's supposed to be a nickname like Babe Pig in the City.
Right. Something like that.
I like.
It's sort of like how I think about you.
Asteroids is this week's game. Don't forget, we're on Patreon. Pay me, bitch. Patreon.com/badwithgames. We're chatting in the Discord. We have bonus episodes. And we're otherwise, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's a lot more exciting than it sounds.
It doesn't sound exciting?
Well, just something about the tone of voice. Maybe.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe I should have done the intro or something this episode. I think this is funnier though.
It's fine. If I didn't say anything, no one would even be able to tell.
Yeah, you're right.
But I'm just warning you, it is going to get worse. And you might hear me sneezing, and I might not cut it out. So, sorry.
Well, do as you must, I suppose.
Asteroids is this week's game, though. This is a big one. This is a big game in the video game universe.
Hmm.
We last time, or not last time, but earlier we discussed Space Invaders.
Yeah, you said something about will asteroids dethrone Space Invaders?
Yeah, well,
It's an open
monetarily,
question. Hmm.
it did.
Wow.
The question's been answered.
Damn. Crazy.
I shouldn't say that. I don't remember. I'm not sure if it made more money than Space Invaders in the long run, but like it was the thing that made Space Invaders stop being the number one game, you know? It
Hmm.
took its place. And so this is arcades. This was a big time for arcades. This is only a year after Space Invaders came out. Everyone was still out there wanting to shoot things. Remember when people used to want to shoot things in the arcades instead of our children's schools?
Yeah, I think I'm old enough to remember that. Yeah,
Should I? It's
barely.
okay to say that.
I think it's okay. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't like the way it is now.
Right. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. What you said.
Give me a break. Write an email about it, why don't you? Did you know I put
Please.
a correction in last week's show? I know you don't because I didn't tell you.
Like you inserted it after the fact. I thought you didn't you do a correction like on air too, or was that a different episode?
Yeah, I also made a correction from another episode, but then I preempted another mistake I made last week in the show itself.
This is good behind the scenes info. I'm glad you're telling me now on air.
Yeah, well, I thought I should tell you what it is. I thought the people should know that I did set the record straight for you.
Oh, okay, okay,
I just before we get into it, this is old business.
okay. Old business.
I told you that Daisy in Mario was from Donkey Kong, and that was just a lie.
Oh, okay.
Daisy was in Super Mario Land on the Game Boy.
Okay.
Pauline is, of course, from Donkey Kong.
What was the You know what? Fuck it. I'll figure it out when we do Super Mario Land.
Sure. But it was such an egregious mistake. And as soon as I
Hmm.
heard myself say it, I knew it was so wrong. And I just didn't want any comments about it. So I just immediately inserted a clip saying, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
I mean, because now my question about where they got the name Daisy from is open because I don't know if where in the timeline this Game Boy game fits.
The
I don't
Game Boy
care.
game came
It's
out a
fine.
year later. That review must have come out around that time. Like, I do not think they just happened upon the name Daisy. I'm confident
Yeah.
they got it from the Game Boy game.
Yeah, no, it had to have been.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, that's the end of that mystery.
Yeah, probably. Well, it'll come up again next time we talk about Mario or Donkey Kong.
Right.
This could have waited till the Donkey Kong episode to tell me.
But I just felt like I needed to set the record straight.
Sure, for the listeners, but you can let me sit in the dark for a while. I mean, wouldn't it have been funny if in our Donkey Kong episode I referred to her as Daisy the whole time? And then at the end you could have been like, by the way, idiot.
No, what would have happened is you would have seen it was Pauline and you would have been like, you lied to me. You told me it was Daisy.
I mean, I
And you
would
would
have.
been pissed.
I did remember that, like that. I stored that information away in my head, so I
See?
would have been like, Why did you tell me that?"
See? I had to do it.
Sometimes I remember things. Occasionally,
All right, so anyway, now back to Asteroids. Did you ever
right?
play Asteroids before or what? What's your deal?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
You did? You did?
Yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Tell me about it.
So way back when was it the Pac-Man episode? I talked about how my dentist's office when as a kid had arcade cabinets in it. and that's where I had played Pac-Man before, I believe.
The creepy dentist. This is
Sure.
this is sort of like the molester dentist.
Is that was that a riff you were doing at the time that you probably shouldn't have been because it probably
No,
wasn't appropriate or acceptable?
no. I think I feel like you
Hmm.
said you described him this way.
I Anyway, there was an Asteroids cabinet there too, so I also played Asteroids, and Asteroids I played probably more than any of the other games there,
Whoa,
like more than Pac-Man. Like if I was going
whoa,
to a game, it probably would have been Asteroids.
whoa!
So I have
Holy
played
shit!
some Asteroids before.
This is breaking news. This is blowing
Yeah,
my mind.
not like a ton because remember it was it's just like every time I had a dentist appointment for like 10 minutes and then that's it. And then, maybe 6 months later, another 10 minutes. But
Yeah, regular visits you were making.
probably.
Did you have braces when you were a kid?
I had a retainer at one point because I had a weird like my jaws weren't quite aligned and they needed to like push them into alignment. Um and they put like a little plaster thing on the back of my incisor so that like that would hold it in place up there, like it would click in behind that. Um and it's still there. Like to this day my teeth have a little like bump on the back of them where they put that plaster on.
That explains why you have such a hideous smile.
I mean you can't see it, it's on the other side. So like if you were in my tongue, you'd be able to tell it was there.
Ugh. I had braces and a retainer.
Wow.
Yeah, and my teeth are still fucked up looking.
I mean, whatever they
You
did worked. I never had my wisdom teeth taken out, so I guess
mm,
that fixed the shape of my jaw enough for that.
sure, sure. Listen, the shape of your jaw is the least of your problems.
That's true.
um, you might have more asteroids experience than me.
Wow.
I
That could
think
be true.
I'm sort of in the same. I feel like what you said for Tetris or maybe Space Invaders, where I'm kind of like, I'm sure I have played Asteroids at somewhere at some point in time, but I couldn't really pinpoint when that was or how that was.
Hmm.
I don't know if I've ever played Asteroids at an arcade machine. I've probably just played some kind of freeware like browser ports of it when I was a kid or something.
Hmm.
But I've never it's not one of the ones that I really have ever given much attention to until now.
Until now, I mean, don't worry. I am not. I do not think that I am any better now than I was as a kid. I was probably better as a kid than I am now. But
Sure. Yeah.
so don't worry too much about not having experience.
I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about that. Well,
Hmm.
do you want to talk about the cabinet art for this game since it was an arcade game?
Oh yeah, let's take a look at some cabinet art here.
There's not there's not much to discuss, I don't think, in terms of like what's there, the composition, and
Hmm.
what's being depicted, because it's mostly just a blue background, blue and black, like you're in outer space, and there's bright orange and yellow flashes, which I
Hmm.
guess are those the asteroids? I
Yeah, I
don't
think those
really.
are asteroids blowing up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like yellow and orange or and red concentric circles, and then like these like white bursts from inside. I think those are the ones blowing up because there's little like gray
Oh
rockies
yeah.
in the background. I think those are the ones that aren't blowing up.
Yeah, there's some debris, but
Yeah.
for a game called Asteroids, all when I just look at this, all I see is big colorful Captain America shields. I'm not
Yeah,
I'm not
it
going,
is.
those must be asteroids.
It is a little abstract. I mean, like, because this debris follows these white bands that seem to go around in the back, almost like we're simultaneously trying to like draw the rings of Saturn as seen from afar, but then being like, oh, but close up it's debris, but I'm still going to draw the rings. Also, these are I'm supposed to be in the asteroid belt or something. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know.
It's odd It feels very abstract, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure it's supposed to be.
That said, I like the colors are nice. I like them.
That's good. Yeah, I mean blue and orange basically, right? It's the
Yeah,
classic.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
And then
works.
black and white.
It's pleasing to the eye.
But the Asteroids font, anything to say about that, or is it just kind of generically there?
I like it.
You're the font master, so I figure
Yeah, I think it's
gotta go to you
good.
for that.
It's got a
Okay.
red outline. It's yellow colored font with a red background.
Right. Italicized.
Is it?
I think
You think it
so.
is? Yeah, I guess a little bit. Yeah.
It's hard to say because it's also on an angle.
On some of the letters, you can definitely tell, like that I is for sure at a slant.
Hmm.
But I feel like the A and the S are a little more ambiguous.
We'll put a picture of this on screen, so if you're watching the YouTube video, you can follow along.
Yeah, of course you can watch us on YouTube, by the way, if you're
Oh, yeah.
listening to this.
Right, yeah. It sounds very exciting. I mean, it's gonna be a hell of a video. You get to see the letters and everything.
Yeah, oh yeah. All 9 of them. Well, it's 8.
That was a good episode, I think.
It's 8 letters, but 2 of the it's 9 letters, but 2 of them are the same. It's 8 unique letters.
So I
Right.
think that's pretty much all we have to say, right, about this game.
Asteroids. Asteroids. You ever see an asteroid in real life?
I don't think so.
What about a
Maybe?
meteor?
Wait-
And what's the difference?
Wait a second. Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a second. At one point in my life, I would have been able to tell. Is it not only an asteroid when it's still in orbit, and like it's a meteor when it enters atmosphere? Because in that case, I definitely never saw an asteroid in real life.
I believe that's correct, or it's close enough to correct that it's fine. Yeah,
I don't
that's
remember.
what I've. But there is a difference between a meteor and a meteoroid,
Hmm.
and I don't know. It's confusing. There's not
Yeah,
a fun.
I mean-
I need a mnemonic, like a stalactite stalagmite thing that helps me. I don't have that. If in orbit it be an asteroid you see. If streaking to Earth, it is, then a meteor. That's the biz.
I mean, but then there's no. I mean, you could
Right.
just. Yeah, it needs to somehow attach to the word.
Right. That's harder to do, though.
Yeah. You'd have. Yeah. I mean, what are we doing right now?
If the Earth is annoyed, it's a meteoroid. But if it's been destroyed, then an asteroid to
They're
avoid.
both. That's oid on both of them.
Yeah, and also they're inaccurate. It's just fun to rhyme it. Good limerick word. There once was an asteroid. That's all I got.
I don't think we should be recording when you're sick anymore.
Asteroids. Asteroids. Who doesn't
Are
love
you
this game?
coherent right now?
Asteroids. The arcade game of the millennium. Asteroids. Space Invaders? Fuck off! Smash those motherfuckers into the dirt. I'm here for asteroids, baby.
I'm just gonna let you get it all out of your system. Just get it all out. You're like stooped over the toilet. I'm like holding your hair back.
Ew.
And let you
I don't have
vomit all
hair.
this out. When you're feeling a
Ugh.
little better, we can talk about the game.
Oh, let's talk about the game. It's time to discuss asteroids.
Yeah. The
Now-
discussion royale. Yeah.
Now, this is interesting. I'm very curious because let me tell you,
Hmm.
asteroids. The main inspirations for this game, according to its designers, one was, of course, Space Invaders. Simply that, the genre of arcade shooting stuff in a space setting was hot at this time.
Yeah.
And also the whole like see how long you can last. All that stuff was pretty much pioneered in Space Invaders, if you recall.
Yes. I mean, I do love it is funny that the genre of means game. Game genre. At this point, there's not enough to distinguish the two.
Right. Well, the other big one is a game called Space War,
Hmm.
which I think we've maybe brought up once or twice on the show, but this is the game that's often thought of as the first video game ever made. And
Wait, really?
yes, I think we've had this exact same exchange.
Okay.
But yes.
I don't remember it. So we got to play it so that I remember it.
Well, I was just about to say, I think that Asteroids will probably be the closest we ever get to covering Space War on this show. Because I don't even know. I guess you could probably find a version of it online somewhere. Someone must have put it up. But I
Mhm.
don't think it was like, when I say the first video game, I mean, like, I don't really know. It was very primitive, you know?
Mhm.
But that was the guys who made this game played a bunch of Space War, and sort of the concept of controlling a little ship and shooting it around the screen came from that. So that's what we're looking at. This is the love child of those two games. And as I was started playing it, I definitely felt like, oh, this the Space Invadersiness I feel, which led me to
Mhm.
think that famous arcade game and Space Invaders hater Will
Mhm.
will probably hate this game.
Hmm.
But then you just said that you used to go to this one at your creepy
Mhm.
dentist's. So I don't know what to think. What's this
Hmm.
guy gonna say? Is he an Asteroids hater, or is there something about this one that he likes better? Oh, and we also should talk about the look of this game and how we also played it. We should get to that soon. But since I just introduced a different subject, why don't you do that one first?
Um, so I conceptually, there's a lot in common with this and Space Invaders, right? Like you're in space and you shoot stuff, right? You're a ship. You don't want to get hit by, there's even alien saucers that shoot at you, right?
Yeah.
Um, but the actual experience of playing it to me feels extremely different from Space Invaders. Right, like in Space Invaders, you're basically going back and forth down along the bottom and trying to shoot straight up. You've got things you can hide behind or whatever, and there's just rows of enemies that kind of move straight down at you. In this, you can move freely in 2 dimensions anywhere on the screen. Um, and the things that you are trying to shoot are coming from all sides. Uh, you know, like fundamentally, this kind of changes everything about the experience, right? Not to mention the fact that there's some more intricacies to how movement works. It's not as it's closer to controlling like an actual thing in space than what you would just consider a standard video game controls to be. In other words, uh if I press right, I don't like move right while I'm holding it and then stop when I let go. If I press right, I start getting rightward momentum and I drift that way until I hit left to go the other direction or whatever. Additionally, I guess it's
Mm.
you know what I mean, except that in this case, you're not drifting back and forth. You've got a thruster that goes forward, and then you've got left and right to rotate because you can go in
Yeah.
2 dimensions. But you hear what I'm saying about the motion being so the motion's
Yeah.
very very different, right? And what you're paying attention to is very different, right? I'm not just trying to line up with enemies. I'm trying to dodge things shooting past me on screen and spin around and shoot at them. Um, Killing enemies doesn't make them disappear. It makes them split up into like a big rock splits into a smaller rock, splits into a smaller rock. Um, and the only things that are shooting at you rather than just flying at you are the aliens that occasionally fly past the screen. So, like, everything about this is just, like, to me, completely different than Space Invaders in terms of the experience of playing it.
These are all great points.
Hmm. I mean, this is also my attempt to very, very badly give you an overview. If you've never played Asteroids, what the
I
hell is
loved
it
it.
like?
You really nailed it.
Thank
Except
you.
for the parts you fucked up a little, but you did a good job.
Right, yeah. I wasn't really, I don't know, thinking
Well,
too hard about it.
but yes, you're correct that in Space Invaders, both of these are two-dimensional games, obviously.
Hmm.
However, Space Invaders really feels like you're on just one plane of existence moving back and forth. And in Asteroids, you have freedom of movement. You can
Yeah.
you can move in all directions
You
around.
can say one dimensional. If you say plane, that's two dimensional.
Right. Well, I'm not a fucking mathematician, okay? I don't know the terms. That's why you're here. You're the
Thank
nerd
you.
and I'm the cool guy. That's sort of our dynamic.
Hmm.
And in Space Invaders, now, yes, in Asteroids, like Space Invaders, every time you clear a screen, a new set of asteroids comes and it repeats
Hmm.
itself. So both games do have a sort of rhythm to them in the sense that the structure of it is clear a level, do another level, and they all at least begin in roughly the same way. In Space Invaders, other than them getting faster and closer, it is literally the exact same thing. In Asteroids, even if the asteroids start in the same positions, which I don't think they do, but I didn't pay that much attention to it. But even if they did, as soon as you start moving and shooting, what you're doing is going to create different
Hmm.
reactions. So every time you play Asteroids, it's never going to be the same twice, ever. Whereas
Yeah.
Space Invaders, if you're good at it, it probably will be literally exactly the same every time.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit worried that actually, if you're good at asteroids, it is the same every time.
I
I'm
don't
a
think it
little
is.
worried.
I
Hmm.
really don't think
Okay.
it. I don't see how it could be. I just think there's too many. The way you
Hmm.
move is too loose and too free. I don't see how you could do it in a way that would make it the same every time. I don't know. But I want to
Hmm.
pause here and let's go back to, because if you're on the YouTubes, you're watching us play this game. And
Hmm.
I went through a whole bunch of rigmarole trying to make this game look good for the
Yeah.
version we're playing. And I think it's important to talk about
Hmm.
because this is a strange game that's in some ways somewhat difficult to emulate. We're playing it on our computers. We're not playing it in an actual. We didn't go to Will's childhood dentist to check this game out in his
Right.
murder closet. Um, Instead, we played it at home. And initially, if you try to play this game, I found without doing anything special to it. Of course, there's many ways to download and run this game, so your mileage may vary. But because it uses the vector graphics, right? Is this
Hmm.
whole thing? It's very clean, simple lines. There's something about the way the game was designed that I think makes it difficult to emulate the look of an arcade on your home computer. And initially it looked very blurry and just kind of visually ugly and dim. And I looked online and found some ways to remedy this, and I believe we found the magic solution, which had to do with there's the MAME arcade emulator. I don't really think people care if I get into the technical details of it. There was like one setting to turn on that made it look pretty, but the bottom line is the game, when running properly and how it would look in an arcade, is very vibrant and bright. And even I don't even think we still got the full extent of it. And maybe you can speak to this from your memory of it from the arcade
Hmm.
if you still have that. But there's the way that light works on the monitor of these things. It would, certain, like, your shots would get brighter
Hmm.
than the stuff around it as it would collide with things. There was, even though everything is just white with a black background, but the light and brightness effects of it to me are make the game have this very vibrant, exciting, dynamic look to it when you would think it's just black and white, very simple
Mm.
graphics, not that impressive, but the light of it, it's almost like a fireworks show that I think is very effective. I
Mm.
don't, and hopefully people see that in the video.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm hoping I didn't fuck it up because I don't think you actually
Oh
looked at
my
or
god.
tested my footage. So it'd be very funny if I did and you're like going on about how great it is and half the footage isn't that good. But I don't know.
Well,
I think
you turned on the setting I told you to turn on. You followed my
I think so,
instructions.
right? I think so. I don't know. I had a lot of technical difficulties with this involving the graphics, but
It looked clean. It looked
I think
nice.
so.
Or okay.
I think so. I don't
All
know.
right. God. I don't know. How am I supposed to know? I don't know what you're. Maybe you just don't think it looks as cool as I do. Well, what's your? Do you
I
have
mean,
a
but
memory of the arcade when you were a kid, or what?
yeah, I mean,
What's
I
your
don't
take?
know that I have a memory about like the specifics of the graphics. I do really like the vector graphics in general. I think that they do look really clean. Um, I was pretty proud of myself because before you said anything and before we did anything, I was thinking to myself, I don't think this game uses like sprite graphics or whatever. I don't know the terminology, and I was thinking, I bet it uses like I don't know vector graphics or some shit. And I just thought that term up, and I didn't know if it was a real term, and it turns out it does. Because I was
Wow.
thinking about it, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, it's so simple. I remember it being so simple, but also very smooth. Um, and yeah, I mean, given how old the tech is, it probably saves a shitload of memory and a shitload of processing power to literally just like you program the graphics like directly into the assembly or some shit and have it, just display the vectors on screen, which I guess is something close to what it does. I think it's really cool though. And one of the uh gameplay consequences of this is that the hitboxes on it are like super precise. Um so like you've got this little triangle ship and you can have these things coming at you and they're going to hit you, and without moving your ship you can turn, and now it's going to miss the rotate, it'll miss the triangle, right? Because your hitbox just is the triangle that you are. um which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it's smooth as hell. It really
Mhm.
feels very smooth to play. And on paper, you might think, again, comparing this to Space Invaders, it's like, well, in that game, you actually have a sprite that sort of
Mhm.
resembles an alien, whereas
Mhm.
here, it's so simple. It is just a literal triangle and like, jagged,
Mhm.
circly rock things. But it does look good and it is so smooth. Whereas Space Invaders really felt like it just feels a little clunky. It feels slow compared to
Mhm.
this. This game, I don't know, technically, I didn't think consciously about frame rate or anything like that. But
Mhm.
it feels like you're going 60 FPS. It feels like there's no lag, there's no slowdown. When I input, my thrust, it reacts right away. And it
Yeah.
reacts the way it feels like it's supposed to react.
Yeah.
And it feels good. And that's the thing. We've been dancing around it. Maybe people picked up on it already, but you kind of said it before. You do not use a joystick in this game, or D-pad or anything like that. Even in the arcade game, it was just buttons, and so it was just a thrust, and whatever direction your ship is facing, that's where it will thrust. And,
Mhm.
and when you let go of thrust, you still have some momentum, and you'll continue moving forward for a little bit. It made me think of Ender's Game, of being in the battle room and like pushing off a wall and using your momentum in zero gravity or whatever to float through the arena. I thought you would like that. You're not reacting.
It is. I mean, I do kind of like that. It is funny, but yeah. I mean, it's odd because like to me, I didn't even think to to like make that connection to some other medium. I was just like, oh yeah, like how you would move in space.
Yes,
That's
I'm
just
not
how
a
you would
fucking
move.
scientist, okay? I've never been to space. My frame of reference is from
Now,
fiction,
now,
okay?
actually, question. You said you would keep going for a
I'm
little
not
bit.
going up there with Elon Musk like
Well, no,
you.
I have a question. I do have a real question here. No, so you said you would keep going for a little bit. Um, is that true that you would eventually slow down in this game?
Yeah, if you stop thrusting for a second,
Interesting.
you stop. Wait a minute. Hold on. Now
No, no,
this
no, no,
is
no. Because if it were accurate, you should maintain momentum indefinitely. So I immediately assumed this was the case. So if I wanted to slow down, I turn around, thrust in the opposite direction, and come to a stop without having to wait. And the only time I noticed my momentum disappear was when it loaded a new screen of asteroids because I cleared the old one. But I also didn't give it a chance to really get to that point because like I would correct my momentum quickly. So
I
that's
mean, this isn't
interesting.
this isn't something I tested because I'm not a huge fucking dork. But
Well,
so
you don't you want to know how to move in the game?
well, I mean,
Feels pretty.
maybe it's possible that like it doesn't disappear completely or something,
Hmm.
but you definitely slow down over time.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you stop. I just didn't think about
Okay.
it that deeply because I did not, like you, assume I wasn't thinking about the realities of outer space. Neil deGrasse fucking Tyson
Well,
over
I
here.
mean, the instant it doesn't work, the instant you start saying, like, you make assumptions, right? Like your base assumption is, I press the direction, I'm going to go that direction. I let go, I'm going to stop. And then when you don't, then you make another assumption, which is, oh, okay, this is acting like it would in space. That's your new assumption. So I probably
Right.
don't stop. Oh.
Well, I would have said before talking to you that yes, I definitely stopped, but it's just now
Hmm.
talking to you, I'm like, I don't know, did I do something different and I wasn't thinking about it consciously and maybe I'm wrong? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I did not test it out. It
I'm pretty
was
sure I
fine.
was moving and then I eventually went back to the middle and just I definitely
Hmm.
did not do the turn around and
Hmm.
thrust opposite direction maneuver. So I can
Mm.
tell you that.
Yeah,
That
no, I
never
didn't
happened.
like. I mean, to be fair, moving too much was difficult for me to keep track of. So if I did move, I was immediately like, let's just correct that. Don't want to
I'm
be drifting
curious.
here.
People are watching it, and
Yeah,
we haven't seen each other's footage. We may have very different
we
approaches to this game.
probably, we might.
Because and I'm going to also say this before I even discuss it. I'm not good at this game.
Hmm.
I'm I'm bad at it, and I was frustrated that I didn't improve at it, and I wanted to.
Hmm.
That said, I I tended to try to stay in the center of the screen, feeling like that's or roughly in the middle of the screen because on the edges. Another thing, if people aren't watching or you don't know asteroids, the screen wraps around, so you can
Hmm.
fly off the right side and you'll come back on the left side, and same thing for all the asteroids. So I found it's like riskier to hang out on the edges because something could come in from another side and you're not paying attention and collide with you. So generally that was my thing, was trying to hang out in the middle and also not and it's something that I'm on some level I don't think this is the correct way to go about it necessarily, but it's just what I defaulted to, was not really moving around that much. I tried to stay in the middle, especially for like the first wave. I would often just sit there, aim and shoot, and unless something was coming at me, I didn't really fly around too much. Um, and I don't know. So I have a sense that I'm wondering if maybe you were zipping around all over the place like a maniac.
No, 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 no. So when I first started, I was testing out all the different things you can do because in addition to moving, like thrusting, rotating, and shooting, you can also press space to hyper or press space. You can press a button. In my layout, it was spacebar to go into hyperspace, which will teleport you to I guess a random point on the screen, right?
Yes.
So if you're in trouble, you can do that. Um, so when I first started off, I was like, okay, well, the first thing I want to do is kind of get the hang of just shooting things. Um, and then I want to try to like integrate the teleportation and the motion in. And, very quickly, I realized two things. One, um, God, it's so hard for me to shoot things. I just have no sense of how fast my bullets are going until I can see them. So like once I make a shot, I know that it's not gonna hit something, but trying to say like, okay, this is this distance away, it's moving at this speed, so I need to point in this direction and shoot such that it'll hit here. But I don't know how fast the thing I'm gonna shoot is moving until I already have shot, and by then it's too late. Like I was just so bad at lining that up and timing it. Same problem I have with all of these video games. Um, so this was very hard, and trying to add maneuvering around in which, like, you know, there are a billion things on screen coming from all directions. So you do have to be cognizant of like everything around you on screen. So trying to do that and line shots and pay attention to where I was and pay attention to where I was moving. Not to mention the fact that now we've added a second button, and at least 5% of my concentration is trying to remember, oops, I accidentally thrust instead of shoot and I rammed into the asteroid instead of blowing it up. Um, Very quickly, I was like, I'm not ready to move yet. Right. I just need to sit here in the middle and try to get as far as I can rotating and like just don't worry about moving yet until you've got it down. Um, I also tried teleporting, and what I discovered there was that nearly every time I immediately died, I would teleport and then just get immediately whacked and killed by an asteroid. Like there is no like it'll teleport you somewhere safe,
Oh.
right? Like you could
Yeah,
just
it's
get
random.
it's random. You could just get blown up. So it seemed to me like the process for me was let's figure out how to freaking shoot anything, and then I'll figure out how to move. And if I ever get really good at shooting and moving, then maybe the hyperspace is a get out of jail free card. But I never got to that point. So I did play for a decent amount until I felt like I was hitting a wall, just rotating and shooting, and then I tried to integrate movement into it. And I did get a little bit worse when I tried moving around, but I think I was getting to a point where I was getting kind of consistent with like, okay, I'm almost back to as good as I was moving. And I do think that if I was like the peak would be higher, right?
I think the hyperspace is really. I don't think you should ever use it unless A,
Hmm.
you're literally about to die, like,
Yeah.
so there's no choice, or ideally, what like there's just when there's only a
Hmm.
few things on screen. If you use
Yeah.
that like early in a wave, it's just suicide. You're
Yeah, no, I only used it when I saw multiple things coming at me and I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm fucked and I got to use it to get out," and that never worked. So I'm pretty sure the answer is the only time you should ever use it is if there is no possible way to get out with shooting and moving, meaning that you should just get better at shooting and moving and not worry about hyperspace until you're really good at them.
Yeah. What did you remap your keys? What buttons were you using? I'm curious.
Um so at first I just used the defaults, but then eventually I just did what it was like I shifted from control and alt to A and S for shoot and thrust. Basically the same thing, but less spaced out on the keyboard.
Interesting. Because I kind of did the same thing, but I made them Z and X,
Mm.
not A and
Yeah,
S.
the A and S meant that my hand is a little more open when I put my thumb on the space bar for hyperspace, which I never ended up using.
Yeah, and I also did occasionally fuck up and thrust when I meant to shoot, or vice versa.
Hmm.
I don't know that I'm trying to
Same.
imagine if I had. I feel like maybe it would be better to have the buttons further apart on the keyboard so that they're not as like right next to each other. To maybe Alt and Controller are better. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think. I think the issue really was just I have two buttons on my left hand here, so left hand is firing off something. Which one is it?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Another thing. about this game is, of course, there's the UFOs.
Hmm. The
And
UFOs, huh?
yeah, as opposed to the FOs, like a
Yeah.
plane or whatever.
The MIFOs.
Hmm.
It's just a weird way to pronounce it, is all.
Oh, I don't see why.
Hmm.
Well, why
Anyway,
would you? Well, how would you say it?
I would say UFO.
Right. So why would you, if you saw it, you'd be like, oh, look, an unidentified flying object. No, you'd say it's an unidentified flying object. The object is the least descriptive part of it. What's interesting is that it's unidentified and it's flying. So it should be a UFO. Or if anything, maybe a UFO.
It just doesn't flow that well. So
I think
I've
it
heard
does.
people pronounce it UFO. How do you feel about that?
They should be killed. Every once in a while, a flying saucer will come across the screen. There's two variants. There's big ones and little
Hmm.
ones, and they shoot at you.
Hmm.
And they kind of move sort of erratically. And if you shoot them, you get a bunch of points.
Hmm.
And the big ones are less accurate shooters. The little ones are good at shooting you.
Hmm.
Those little UFOs are the bane of my existence. I
Hmm.
found that virtually every time one of those appeared on screen, I mean 9 out of 10 times,
Yeah.
it killed me.
Yeah.
I was
Same.
fucked.
Yes. So I have some issues with the UFOs. Because the big ones are not very accurate. They're easy to shoot down. But like, not very accurate doesn't mean inaccurate. And so every once in a while you'd be playing and a big one would come on and the first shot would just kill you and you'd be like, "Oh, fuck off." Right? Fuck off. Right? That thing's not supposed to be able to hit me. What the hell? Um and then the little ones, as you said, I was not precise enough with my angles to hit them. Like that was the other issue too, is that I'd like tap the button to rotate and I'd rotate too far and I'd tap it back and I'd rotate. Like it was really hard to line up because it's so precise. Um so yeah, they're so small that they're really hard to hit and then they hit you like really accurately. So yes, I was looking at that like, oh, I could probably get a ridiculously high score in this game if those stupid little guys weren't there.
Yeah.
Um I do wish that they got introduced a little slower, right?
Hmm.
Like maybe the first wave of asteroids had no UFOs and then we start introducing them rather than they start showing up immediately and the little guys start showing up around the time you're about finished with the first wave. Just because they are so much harder than anything you're looking at. They worry me a bit because um it feels like you get as you said a lot of points from them. And they don't like show up once per wave. Like they just start showing up periodically and it feels like maybe what you want to do is blow up most of the asteroids and then just kind of sit there and not blow up any more asteroids and not end the level and just kind of farm spaceships. And that's how you get a really high score. And if you do that, you can play it the same way every time, which would suck if that's like what you're supposed to do. That would kind of ruin the game for me.
Well, my friend,
Hmm.
you've locked into an advanced strat.
Oh no. Oh no.
This is a strat I learned about online. It is known as lurking in some circles.
I know a little bit about that.
And indeed, you pretty much nailed it. You wait until there's only one or two asteroids on screen. You lurk in one of the like sides or corners, I think they said is what to do.
Mm,
And you just wait for those guys to come and you just kill a bunch of them and get a bunch of lives and points and continue on.
mm,
Now, I still don't think that means like you play it the same way every time because I
mhm,
still think once you I mean, unless you literally like if you never move on and just shoot spaceships forever, then why are you even playing this fucking game? Like that's stupid. But I more understand if you're like, let me just do this for a while to get a bunch of extra lives and
mhm.
then move on or
Do
something
you
like
get
that.
do you get more points on higher levels? So is it like you're kind of incentivized to blow up the asteroids and start over again because it's like farming them on level 1
I
or
don't
whatever is
know.
just not gonna get you as many points as clearing to level 15 or something?
I don't know. I do know you get more points for little asteroids than the big ones.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if they give you if the spaceships are worth more as you go. But yeah, I didn't. I thought about trying this strategy just to see, and I didn't because it sounds boring, and I probably would fuck it up anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I
um,
I was thinking like at the very least you do have to be good enough to deal with these spaceships, which I was just not.
mhm.
I did find that if you were moving, it was harder for them to hit you. So like I'd be
Yeah,
as you said, you would sit in one place and then only move when you needed to get out of the way. And when I started trying to integrate movement, and I was doing that more, but I was also just saying like, "Oh, if I hear that little fucker coming on screen, I'm gonna start trying to move somewhere just so it's harder for him to hit me." The problem being that like I wasn't good enough at movement, so I'd often just blow myself up on an asteroid at that point.
yeah, yeah. Well, apparently this strategy was a real problem. Like arcade owners, I
Mm.
believe they released a later asteroids that sort of made it so you couldn't do that or something
Hmm.
because like arcade owners complained they were losing money from it.
Uh,
But I don't know. It just, I mean, I just think it's kind of lame to like you're no longer engaging with the game like that.
yeah.
You're just literally seeing a number get bigger for what? Like it's not.
Hmm.
It's nothing.
Interesting. Interesting. Interesting take on scores.
No, because there's a difference between
Uh huh.
oh, I'm saying how far I can get
Right.
playing the game. If all you're doing in the game is sitting in a corner and just
Mm-hmm.
shooting one thing as it crosses by, that's just not engaging. There's nothing fun about that. Versus like, oh, every screen the asteroids are coming different directions. I have to be skilled. I have to be
Right.
fast on my feet, reacting. I'm
Right.
reaching
Yeah.
new, or like something like a Pac-Man or a Space Invaders. You can still be like, oh, I got to like the 10th level. Whereas here it would just be like you stayed on level one forever. It's just there's no satisfaction in that to me.
I mean, I
This
guess
is
I guess the
not.
the only
Yeah.
difference here, I think this we're basically in agreement, except that I don't think
Mhm.
that reaching a new level gives me satisfaction either. That's basically just score, unless something like if I'm going to the next level and the next level is just like kind of the same, or if you're like, yeah, just learn the Pac-Man strat and do it the same every time. It's like, okay, I don't care. Like I need to feel as though my like mechanics and skill are being rewarded and not just like, hey, I moved up and I didn't like getting farther has to feel like I got better and not feel like, yeah, I did it again. I did it more times in a row this time, so I guess I quote unquote got farther.
Yeah, you did.
It's like
It just
more like Tetris, right? And less like
yeah.
Pac-Man.
It just this specific just it doesn't feel like a
Mhm.
strategy to me. It feels like cheating, to be frank. Like to me, this is the
Mhm.
equivalent of like, oh, in skee ball, if you just go underneath the thing and put the ball right in the top point hole, you'll get more points. It's like, well, yeah, but
Mhm.
now you're not playing skee ball. Now you're just doing something else.
Mhm.
Like does
But that's
that?
sort of that's sort of the case in Pac-Man if you're just doing the same, like you just learn the way to do it and you just do it the same every time, that you're
Listen,
kind of doing
we're
the
not
same
talking
shit.
about Pac-Man this week. We're talking about asteroids.
Well, we're comparing Asteroids to other arcade games. I do agree with you. I think that there is
I
a
would say that.
possibility
Go
that I
ahead. Go
still
ahead.
like it better because of the fact that it's possible that you just need skill to deal with the spaceships. Um like if you're like, yes, I'm not really engaging with the intended game, but I do still need the skill to dodge the little asteroids that are around and not get killed by the spaceships that show up and hit them. Like you are kind of finding a workaround to intended gameplay, but you are also still playing a game that involves some kind of like
Yeah,
skill, right? So
I
maybe
guess.
that's better, but I don't actually know because I never tried it and I don't quite understand the intricacies of this strategy. That being said, yeah, as I said at the start of this whole thing, that idea does ruin it a little bit for me.
Yeah. And listen, I also don't like the pattern thing in Pac-Man,
Mhm.
but to me that is closer to, again, if we're using the skee ball. Let me just nest analogies and analogies here.
Mhm.
That's more like, oh, I memorized like the exact like muscle memory of
Mhm.
my arm goes in this exact thing with my wrist, and I use this exact speed, and I always get it in that spot. That
Mhm.
feels closer to like what the Pac-Man pattern memorization is, as opposed to just you're just doing something else. Which I
Mhm.
guess maybe that also, you're right. Like, yes, there is some amount of, you still have to aim and shoot and stuff, but I just don't.
Yeah.
Just personally, there's nothing about that I'm like, that just doesn't sound satisfying or fun at all.
Yeah.
But
I mean, see, I don't necessarily agree with the idea of climbing up and putting it under because it is just like against the rules to climb up and do that. So that would be more
yeah.
like hacking the game. But maybe it's kind of like trying to bounce the skee ball under it off the thing or something like that. Or it's like, listen, I you didn't do anything to stop me from doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing in the rules
Yeah,
says a dog can't play Asteroids.
that's right. Yeah, I mean this could have been easily fixed by some combination of like massive point increases on higher levels, meaning it's just not worth
Mm,
it to do it, um or just capping it, just being like, yeah,
yeah.
man, like there are no more than the, like, yeah, you should sit here and farm. You don't just want to clear the level immediately. You want to sit here and farm all the spaceships that show up in this level. That's 3, and then you got
Right.
to move on.
Yeah. Or they just don't give you points anymore.
Yeah.
They just keep showing up. I don't
Oh,
know.
that would be fucking annoying as hell. I kind of like it actually. If you don't clear them out fast enough, you just get more spaceships and they don't even help you. They're just punishing you for not being good enough.
Yeah. Sure. Why not? So anyway, I fucking hated those little spaceships. I really hated them
Mhm.
so much. They pissed me off every time they showed up. Anytime I felt like, oh, I'm kind of doing good, I'm getting better at this game, little guy would pop up and kill me, and I would just throw my keyboard, fly into a rage.
I did start getting tilted once I
Oh,
started trying to put
started. I got tilted from minute one.
I mean, when I was just trying to be like, let's just focus in on only rotation and like really drill down and not worry too much about it, like it was a lot easier to be calm about it. But then once I started being like, let's add movement in and try to go around, yeah, there are going to be a couple points where like on my footage, you might have it where like I just die immediately to some stupid bullshit, and I spend the rest of
Oh
the game
yeah.
flying in a straight line because I'm like,
Oh
fuck
yeah.
this, fuck
Yep.
this. Yep. Okay, so this is a major point in this game's favor. I do really like the
Are you about
kind
to
of
tell me that
game.
it's fun to be bad at it?
I am about to tell you that it's fun to be bad at it. I like the kind
Take a
of game
drink.
where you get mad and immediately just slam the restart key. Like, rather than getting pissed off and being like, I don't want to do this anymore, you get pissed off and slam on the restart because I'm trying it again right now. Right?
Mm.
That's the kind of cycle I want to be in with a game.
I mean, I did have, but and maybe there is a restart shortcut. I didn't,
I mean,
but or
there
do you just
isn't, but
mean,
like, I just mean like I die, it's game over, and I immediately slam like one player, starting again, do it,
yeah?
kind of
Well, like
thing.
I got right, yeah. Like if I died really early, I would just get pissed and basically go like, well, I might as well kill myself in the game, because if I already lost a life in
In
like
the
the first
game.
level, then like I'm not going to get anywhere. This is pointless. Like
Hmm.
let me just, I wish I could just immediately
Hmm.
do a new thing from scratch. But I felt that same thing in Space Invaders too. Of fuck, I got killed right away. I just want to like go again. So I did still have that in that
Hmm.
game. Um I wanted to go back to Space Invaders for another reason.
Hmm.
What was it? There was another, I was going to say something else. We were talking about, oh yeah,
There's
in
space. Okay.
in Space Invaders, the difference in my trajectories between these two games, I did feel that I got better at Space Invaders. Like
Mm.
my footage and my plays when I first started Space Invaders, I was dying on level 1, and by the end of it, I was able to almost every time make it at least to level 2 and often to level 3. And
Mhm.
so I felt satisfied, and I was enjoying my time of like, I'm improving at this. This is good. Asteroids, I didn't feel like early on. I got to, um, I hit 10,000, which is when you get an extra life, and in this game
Mm.
it's every
You
10,000,
know what?
which
You're
I
better than me. I
appreciate.
never quite hit 10,000. I got
Well,
close a couple times, but I never quite did it.
but then I was like, oh wow, this is fun. I'm getting good at it. I hit 10,000. Next time, let's see how far I can get next time. And
Mhm.
it wasn't like, oh, now that I hit that, I'm better.
Mhm.
No, it was just random. It was, oh, I got lucky this time. I died this time. And I'm not
Mm.
even saying this is the game's fault. It's probably all my fault. But I just couldn't get good at this game.
I
I wasn't
mean,
getting better at it.
it sounds like you were. It sounds like you just weren't like I guess that this is interesting because that does not bother me, right? Like saying okay, I got a high score and then it took me like 20 attempts to even get close to it again doesn't bother me like at all. And it doesn't make me feel like I'm not getting better either. Um like what made me feel like I wasn't or like I was getting better was just the ability to be all like, all right, I'm just going to play until I fill out these high scores with like fucking 10 scores that are over 2000. All right, I'm going to play till I get 10 scores that are over 4000 this time. And hey, I did it this second time I did it faster, right? I got 10 scores over 4000 faster than 10 scores over 2000 the first time. Right? Like it's that kind of that consistency makes me feel like I am generally improving. And it's like, yeah, okay, did I come anywhere near my like 9700? No, but it doesn't matter because my average skill is improving. Um and like I said, I'm less concerned with how far I'm getting and more concerned with feeling like I'm doing better. So if I say like, okay, I'm going to try doing things this way. And because I'm trying something new, I die earlier and don't get as good of a score. But I feel like I still was able to do, like I was still doing everything I was doing before, but now I'm adding a new skill on top. I feel like I've gotten better even though my score went down. You know what I mean?
This is very similar, I think, to what you did with Super Mario Brothers 2 last week of saying, "Oh, let's see if I can beat World 1 with every character."
Hmm.
And like you almost are like inventing your own little games within the games to occupy yourself, which I kind of admire, but I'm not wired that way. For me, I'm so maybe it's being more steeped in modern games where my mentality is more about I want to finish this game. I want to
Mm.
beat this game. I want to play it until I've completed it and then I will move on. Uh, as opposed to like, oh, I'm gonna master the kick this run or
Mm.
whatever the fuck it is. That uh, that could appeal to me if the game is designed around it and directs me toward it, but don't think I'm as inclined to find that avenue on my own.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I guess this could be a big difference because for me, like you're right. I'm not going to do that unless the game it feels like the game directs me toward it. But I feel like if a game doesn't direct me toward it, I'm going to enjoy the game less. Um like I don't care so much about finishing it or like hitting a milestone as I do about feeling like I think I'm improving my execution in some like I care about my own like feeling like my own skill is getting better in some way. And like I might me constantly trying to find these little things like in that might end up hurting my score like in this. So it's like it doesn't really bother me that I'm trying to layer in these new skills and I'm not getting quote unquote back because I feel like I'm getting like I'm learning stuff. And in theory, at a certain point I will have mastery of all of these and then I'd actually be good at it. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think we covered some of this same ground in our Tetris episode.
Hmm.
These different gaming philosophies we have. And interesting because also as time goes on, this conversation becomes less and less relevant because just the idea of this type of game doesn't really exist after a
Mhm.
certain point beyond mini games or phone
Mhm.
games or things here and there. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I will say for me personally, I still also don't think I improved. Even outside of, oh, it
Mhm.
took me 20 more times to get up to 10,000. I feel like the times that I made it, I think my highest score was somewhere like 12 or 13,000.
Yeah, I mean, that's way
Um,
better than me.
but I don't feel like and look, I'm sure I'm better than you, but it's a low bar. But I don't feel like oh man, that run, I did this thing or that thing that I really understood that was a good skill. And that's why I earned that higher
Mm.
score. I just kind of think I just got lucky. I just happened to
Mm.
be in a position where my shots happened to hit the UFO before it hit me, or they didn't spawn as much, or the debris went right past me. I don't
Mm.
think I actually did anything to earn those better scores. I really think I just kind of got lucky.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, 100%, I felt like I was earning my better score because, like, the first time I played this game, I was bad enough at it and getting smashed up that, like, it was a struggle to hit 2,000 points. Like, it was, like, out of reach to hit 2,000 points. I was just getting completely smashed. And like I said, by the end, I could come in there and do, say, 11 attempts. It would take me 11 attempts to get 10 scores over 4,000. Right. And so it's just like, you know, how often do I hit the 9,500 score? The difference between the 9,500 score and the like 6,000 score for me, yeah, that was pretty random. That was a lucky one. But 100% I was getting better. And I could tell I was getting better.
it sounds like you started at a lower place
That's also probably true. Yeah. I
and like
started, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
and made your way up to like mid-level, and I just kind of started mid-level and was like, I'm like have
Stuck.
nowhere to go from here. Yeah. Where I felt like Space Invaders, I just think it was much easier for me to grok what the strategies were. And in
Mm,
Asteroids, I feel like I am personally just bad at determining when should I be moving, when should I be
hmm
shooting from here or shooting from there. I know generally I think, you should be shooting the smaller ones first because they're faster and more less predictable. Um,
Interesting. So I kind of was walking back and forth on that because
mhm,
when I before I started integrating motion into it, what I was finding was it's a lot easier to hit the small ones because even though they're very fast, they're so small that they usually don't hit you unless they are coming right at you. So like it was almost like the medium-sized ones you really like you didn't want to
mm.
leave medium-sized ones, but it was kind of okay to have a ton of small ones flying around because you just needed to make sure that the one that was coming right at you was the one that you were shooting, right? And then all the others you just don't need to worry about. They're not going to hit you. Whereas the medium ones, they could be coming kind of. The big ones could be like way off to the side and still hit you, but they're very slow. The medium ones kind of split the difference and were the worst of both worlds. Um, so like I was like knocking out big ones and then just getting these big fields of small asteroids everywhere and that was kind of fine. And it was only when I started moving around that I was like, but this makes it very difficult to move because the whole place is a minefield now. So
Yeah.
now I need to start worrying about like I kind of want to like split the difference on that, but I also do need to make sure it doesn't get out of control on the small ones.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I feel like the prevailing wisdom by the
Mhm.
majority of Asteroids players is just like take out one complete
Mhm.
asteroid set at a time before you start, and like don't let it be a minefield of 80
Yeah.
things zipping around the screen. Although I do think the screen looks really cool when that happens.
I mean,
I just think
I
it's
think
fun.
it would. I do think that that is probably a lot easier if you are consistently zipping around everywhere,
Mm,
100%. But I think sitting
mm,
in one place, um, Yeah, it's like really not that hard to avoid getting hit by the small guys, even if there's a billion of them, if you aren't moving.
It does, it can be another factor is when the UFOs come in,
Hmm.
they can get hit by asteroids, and they can also shoot asteroids,
Hmm.
and that can, fuck you up a little bit if you're not ready for an asteroid to be split or you're not prepared for it. Or even an asteroid hitting a UFO could also, that means it steals points from you technically. So that
Yeah.
might also be annoying.
Yeah, I also think that if you were really good and had mastered like moving around in the game, you could use the bigger asteroids as cover. Like having a big minefield was actually kind of helpful also sometimes because the little ships would just kill themselves before they could hit you, because there was just weren't safe places for them. But if you were good, you could like hide behind the big ones better because they move so slowly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you really do just have to get good at the movement.
Yeah, and I'm not good at
It's
the movement.
hard.
It is because I mean, like it really. I mean, this is what I do like about it, though, is that, there's so much that is relevant and that you have to be paying attention to. Like, I need to know the trajectories of all these asteroids. I need to have a game plan for which ones I'm going to blow up. I need to know where I am. I need to know what my momentum is. I need to know which direction I'm facing. And I need to, yeah, like, there's a lot of things to be paying attention to at once, which is why I was trying to, like, layer it in for myself. But yeah, I like that. I like that there's so much going on at once. Which is part of another reason why the ship thing bothers me is that I think if there was less going on, it would be more boring. And maybe that's also why it's more interesting than Space Invaders. In Space Invaders, I'm kind of just going back and forth and shooting at like it's a very simple thing that I'm trying to master and not like I need to pay attention to a billion things at once and I have a lot more freedom of do whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that for that reason it's more complex,
Mhm.
which makes it more difficult and more interesting at the same time.
Mhm.
uh, apparently, I think this is right. I read that, you were talking about, oh, you wished that the little ones were maybe introduced later.
Mhm.
Well, at a certain score threshold, maybe it's 40,000, I'm not sure. Only the little ones appear.
Mhm.
So that's their difficulty progression. And
Yeah, I mean,
also, it
yeah.
sounds like around that point, the difficulty kind of gets capped as well. Like
Mhm.
I don't I don't know, stuff doesn't really change at a certain point. It's just like you
Yeah, I
trying to
mean,
see how long
that's
you can
fair.
last. Yeah.
At a certain
Um
point, what are the there's only so much you can do.
right, right. I did read that and I was initially like, oh, that'll be my goal. I'll try to go for 40,000 points. And then it was like, maybe 20,000. I guess I can't do it. Bye bye. But I tried. Another thing I do like about this game that I think is pretty cool is when you die and respawn, it will wait until there's like a safe spot, an opening for you, so that as soon as you spawn, you
Yeah.
don't just get killed immediately. Like that's pretty cool, actually. I kind of am
Mhm.
impressed that the game they thought to do that. It's
Mhm.
instead like they could have just. I mean, another thing like it could have just made you invulnerable for like 5 seconds. That would have solved the problem, maybe. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It's kind of fun, like sitting there. It feels like I'm waiting for traffic to pass, trying to make a turn onto the highway. Like, come on, come on.
Mhm.
I'm in. I'm in. Let's go. What about the? How do you feel about the sounds in this game?
I do like the sounds, although that one is harder for me to judge because as I said, I did play this as a kid. So like um there's not necessarily enough to there's not little guys in there for me to have an attachment to. And the actual act of playing isn't something that I was ever like good at, so that's not something that I'm but the sounds are good enough that I have a nostalgic attachment to them. Right. So, I do like them. I like the little wah, 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 wah that the spaceship makes as it comes on. I like like Jaws type boop 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 as you blow stuff up. I like the little explosions, but again, like I'm interested what you think of that in a vacuum. It is pretty reminiscent of Space Invaders. But yeah, the specifics of this just it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. I like it because I remember it.
Yeah, I think I love the pew-pews and the
hmm
kabooms. They're very
hmm
good.
Yeah, the
It's
kabooms are
very
good.
satisfying little pew 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 pew. It's good. It feels good to shoot. I enjoy that. Um, the dun 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 dun, which is exactly the
Yeah.
same as Space Invaders.
Okay, I was like, it's got to be close. It's definitely,
It is identical.
inspired. Okay, yeah.
My issue with that is in Space
Mhm,
Invaders, it made sense. The whole game was this very dun 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 as they're moving back and forth, and
mm,
then as they come down, it would speed up. Dun 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 dun
mhm,
dun dun. So you felt this rising tension. And it felt like in this game, it was just like, I don't know, halfway through shooting the asteroids, they started doing the dun 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 dun. And I was like, it didn't feel like that tension was necessarily appropriate at the time it
mhm.
came in. So I didn't really. I liked the sound effects, but that one background music, if you want to call it that, it seemed out of place. It more
Yeah,
confused me.
that's fair. Yeah, because like I do see what it's going for. Oh, excuse me.
Jesus Christ.
You can cut
Oh
that if
my
you don't want to
God.
harm the listeners. I do see what they're going for. Um, eh, if you've blown up you've got the slow moving ones, so you've got this very slow dun dun dun, and then when you've got a bunch of fast ones, then it's super fast and sped up. But like you might have a whole bunch of fast ones, or you might have taken out the asteroids one at a time and have only a couple of slow ones.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's not like a good because as we've been saying, there's a lot more freedom with this, right? In Space Invaders, it's like, well, at a certain point, you've just cleared out some of these enemies, right? It doesn't really matter
Mhm.
which ones they're moving faster now because it all comes down very linearly. It's the same amount. But here, it's like the number of things on screen is different depending on your play style, and it's just it's hard to predict and it's hard to set that properly.
Yeah. They don't know what's gonna be going on. They don't know. Here's another pro strat for you.
Okay.
Apparently, so in the game, you can get extra lives. Every 10,000 points, you get an extra life.
hmm
There's no cap to how many extra lives you can get.
Hmm.
And every time you get an extra life, it shows an extra life. It shows you how many lives you
Hmm.
have, a little icon. And because this is an older game, the more extra lives you have at a certain point, the game slows down because it can't process showing everything on screen at once.
That would have to be a lot. Like one of the big advantage of the vector graphics is that it's extremely optimized for how fast it would run. Like you would need a lot of lives. But when you said there's no cap, my immediate thought was, can you get 256 extra lives and then that just kills you because it rolls over to zero? Was my first thought.
Well, I should clarify. I get technically there. So according to internet here,
hmm
it's 50 to 100 is how many you need to start slowing it down.
Okay.
Um, and if you get 250 lives, the game just crashes.
Okay.
It can't handle it.
250, not 256.
Nope, 250. It says actually it's
Weird.
more than 250.
Oh, then it's. Oh, I see. So 251 is where it
I
crashes.
suppose, yes.
I assume. That's weird. I would have thought it would be the power of two. They just didn't have space in the thing and it fucked up.
Yeah. Well, you're too much of a fucking dork. Stop talking about math on this show. I'm sick of it.
This is like one of the most mathematical games we've done just because it's so fucking bare bones and
Ugh.
simple. All of it is just really exposed. Normally there's more of a veneer over it.
Something else there is you can only have a maximum of 26 asteroids on screen at a time. Um,
Okay.
if there's 26 and you shoot an asteroid, it won't split. It will just become a smaller one.
Hmm.
I don't think you can really, I don't know if you can use this to your advantage or anything, but it's just something to note. Something to
Yeah, I
note.
mean, you could if you're trying to clear out asteroids on a higher level and you don't want the score. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like there's, I can't think of what specific game I'm thinking of, but there's modern versions of this genre where when something flies, every time it flies off screen, it gets faster.
Hmm.
I know this is a thing in some games, whereas in this game, it feels like I don't know how the speed of the asteroids is determined. Like, obviously, the big ones
Yeah.
start kind of
When
slow, but then some of the little ones go super fast, and some of them are just kind of fast.
when they're produced, their speed and momentum are set, and they just keep
Yeah.
that. So it might be random, or it might have something to do with the like angle at which you hit them, right? When you shoot
Hmm.
them. And I couldn't tell. I was interested in that as well, because sometimes something would come at me and I would shoot it and it would break off and that would dodge, and sometimes I would shoot something and then an asteroid would fly right off into me and I'd have to shoot it again very quickly to avoid dying, and I was like, boy, if I could like predict that, that would
Hmm.
probably help.
I would like it better if they got faster over time or something,
Hmm.
so that you were incentivized, like, oh, I got to shoot. If I miss them, I'm
Hmm.
punished for it, as opposed
Hmm.
to just, that's just a fast one. I don't know.
I don't mind that because just because like leaving them on screen has its own issues, right? Like I don't want it to kind of force you to play in a way where it's like you have to kill the asteroid as soon as it shows up, because otherwise, it'll get too fast for you. Where it's like, yeah, if I want to blow them all up in whatever order and put a billion on screen, and leave them for later, that's fine, because that causes problems for you. And you're saying that's not the way to do it. So it's like, yeah, I mean, just whatever you want. Like, because the other way it would be like, yeah, but then you're just immediately fucked. So like, you just have to be playing a certain way. I don't know.
I'm overwhelmed by choice. I want the game to
Hmm.
tell me, shoot this. I want a little
That's
checkpoint
what the
and
aliens are for.
yeah, that's true. That's definitely what I want to shoot when they show up. Oh man,
Those fucking little
asteroids.
guys.
Now, did you at a certain point? So now, there's another big thing about this game was the high scores. You
Hmm.
know, people were all over that shit at this time. There was something about Space Invaders. I don't think you could put your initials in Space Invaders, could you? I think this was the first
Uh,
one.
I don't remember when I played it, if you could.
I think. God, this is a bad podcast. I
You just need to
think.
plan it better, because then you could tell me what you
Look, I'm
were.
sick. I'm sick. Okay, it's not my fault. I'm ill. I think that the high scores were implemented in a way that was unique in this game.
Hmm.
And anyway, in my personally, I at first I was like, oh, this is fun. I'm putting my name in and stuff, and then after a time,
Hmm.
I just mashed AAA because I didn't care anymore because I was dying so frequently.
Yeah, I was doing that too. But again, I think that was part of when I say like slam the reset, like that is basically what I was doing. It's like I was not if I was less interested in immediately starting again, I'd be more like, yeah, let's put in my name and then I'll think about whether I want to play again. But here I was just like, no, I got to start again, just a start.
Yeah, yeah. Which I
Gimme,
realized
gimme.
that I think you can just press start and you can actually just skip the. You don't have to put in
Hmm.
AAA even.
Interesting. Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably right.
What is your go to? Do you write ASS or
Oh, that's pretty funny. I should do that.
yeah? I see. I can write JON, which is kind of cool.
Right. Yeah.
You could write DOG.
Right. Right. I don't remember what I would have
WI.
done
You
as a
could do
kid.
WIL.
Yeah, would I have done WIL? Maybe I would have. I'm sure as a kid at some point I did ASS. I must have, right? Like, how could
Not
I
me.
not have?
I was a good boy. I would never do
Well,
that. As
uh,
a kid, I would have done my
hmm.
initials because I didn't go by John. So
Oh, I might have done my initials actually. Now that you say that. Hmm.
yeah, I mean that's sort of the intended. I think.
Yeah, yeah, I think it is. It didn't even occur to me.
Yeah. You want to give final review scores or IGN ratings to this game, Asteroids?
IGN ratings. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's do some IGN ratings.
Great. Let's
Um,
hear it.
yeah, so I mean this is another one that goes in the gulf for me. Um
What the fuck does that mean?
go listen to our last week's episode, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Um so this is going to break, and I still don't know to what extent this is the game and to what extent this is me as a kid, right? Like I played it as a kid. Do I like it more than the other arcade games because I played it as a kid, or did I play it more as a kid because I liked it more than the other arcade games? And it fits my sensibilities. I
Wow.
don't know. I do know that this is definitely my favorite, uh, arcade game by a long shot, unless we decide to count Tetris that I've played. But we didn't play the arcade on that. Um, it it does give me the sim bleh, it does give me the same kind of enjoyment, that Tetris does, in the sense of, um, I really do enjoy, like, I feel like there is a real skill to, like, uh, technical movement and pattern recognition in this game, that I can feel myself improving at, uh, and it gives me that sense of like I want to get better at this. I want to, and I enjoy feeling myself improve at this. Um, all of that is great, and I really like it. It is not as fundamentally universal as Tetris, though, right? Like, this is not a game that's just like, oh man, it's so simple, it could just be any. Like, this is a game. I don't know that this game exists outside of vector graphics on an like arcade, right? um,
Hmm.
uh, that being said, I do really like the vector graphics. I like how fluid they are. I like how simple they are. I um, I can't give it points for having little guys. You know, big missed opportunity. So let's see, where do I want to put this game? There is a large empty space in my rating system here. Um, I think I want to give this game. I think I'm going to give Asteroids a, let's just say, a 7.0.
Okay. Huh.
It could have gotten. I think it could have done better if it had more. If it had more like fun, cutesy little guys, but that's like antithetical to what the game is.
It's a choice they made though.
Hmm.
I mean it is pre Pac-Man, but
Post
post
Space
Space
Invaders.
Invaders. Yeah, so they were like, too much. We need to be a little more abstract. Although it's not really abstract. It is the same level of abstraction, really. There's just not a thing with a face.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, that is sort of I don't know. Would I like this game more if on the front on the art there was like a little guy in your ship that you see and they told you his name was Joe Starman and they said you're out in space trying to protect the world from asteroids and aliens and stuff? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, because that's the thing, right? Is maybe those two things just don't play well together because Tetris also doesn't have that, but this scratches a similar itch to Tetris. I don't know.
But Tetris is so truly
Yeah.
abstract that I'm like, well, I don't even think about it. Whereas here, well, I am in a
Hmm.
ship, so I do sort of
Right.
it would make more sense to tell me why I'm in this ship.
Yeah. Well, this is pushed closer to that, but not all the way there.
It's almost
Yeah.
like the uncanny valley in a way, you know?
Well, that's why I didn't get Tetris's 8.8 or whatever.
Certainly not, certainly not. I mean, I am pleasantly surprised. I thought this maybe would just be another week of you bitching and moaning. um
Maybe we'll do that next week. I don't remember what our.
Because it is still, I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it is just about getting a high score, and you hate high scores, but you just sort of found your own fun with it, I guess.
Yeah, there's enough skills in it. That really is what it is. Like, the skills involved in getting a high score in Space Invaders are not interesting to me on their own, and the skills involved in getting a high score in this are in and of themselves interesting.
Well, I do think this game is better than Space Invaders. It's faster, it's smoother, it's aged better. To repeat myself a little, you'd think this game would be so ancient and boring to look at, but it's actually not. It's so fluid, and it still feels very good to control this ship, even though I'm not good at it. It feels good. The little thrust, the push, and your movement, and deciding when to stop thrusting and turn and shoot. It has a really good feel to it, a good game feel. It's kind of like a mouth feel.
Uh-huh. I know.
It's good game feel. GGF, I call it. And yeah, it's faster. I think there's a good reason this kicked Space Invaders out of the arcades. I'm glad it did, even though I like Space Invaders. I don't know if I think I still like Pac-Man more than this, but original Pac-Man suffers, more Ms. Pac-Man. I'm a Ms. Pac-Man guy, Um,
I know.
I don't know. I'm gonna give it a. I'm also gonna be in the 7 range. I think maybe I was gonna go even higher than this, but I think I got to bring it down to like a 7.5.
Okay, okay. I mean, that lines up relatively. Why are you bringing it down again?
I think just ultimately it just is so simple in a way that I don't know. I'm like looking at all the things that we've talked about so far and all the things that are to come. I don't know that I quite feel a pull to go back to this game.
Mm,
And I feel like I've mostly gotten everything out of it that I can get out of it personally.
okay.
I, like if I had like an asteroids machine, maybe I would tinker with it a little. But I still feel like personally, and I know you disagree with this, but
No, that's interesting.
like I know that in the future there will come times when I play Pac-Man again. I just
Hmm.
know I have versions of Pac-Man on different systems. New ones will come out. I will be playing Pac-Man probably until I die and having fun with it. And like this and Space Invaders, not so much. I don't really think I care to go back to them. And maybe a lot of it does just come down to the little guy factor, that I look at it and it's
Hmm.
like it is just about the pure technical skill, and that is satisfying and good, but it only goes so far for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Because that is like out of all the games, this would be very high on the list of games that I would be interested in playing more of. Um, the yeah, 100%. And I think because like for me, that is what's going to bring me back to it is the technical skill. The the little guy factor is mostly just an issue of like if I get into this, I could get really into it and like it, but because it doesn't have little guys, I won't like think to get back into it. Right? Like it doesn't like it'll be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot all about asteroids," unless I'm playing it, in which case I want to play more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. Like, I think the problem is I hit this wall
Mhm.
and I just didn't see a way around that wall. And
Mhm.
I didn't find the fun the way you did of working
Yeah.
around that. And it's different. There's other games like in a Mario 2, for instance, since we just covered it, where I can feel like I'm getting better, but if I'm sort of not, well, I can still there's other goals I can try to get farther in the level or whatever. And here I feel
Mhm.
like the only thing there is what you see is what you get. Try to shoot
Mhm.
better, last longer, higher score. And once I feel like I've hit my limits of that, it's like, well, do I want to spend a lot more time working on that, or should I like do something that's I actually want to do with my time?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. That really is the difference here is that, like, I did not care that much about higher score, and I barely even cared about last longer. I just felt like, do I feel personally like I'm getting better? And that's all I really care about. Yeah, the idea of hitting a wall in and of itself doesn't bother me. I'm very okay with the idea of being like, I spent 6 months trying this one thing, and then I never got it. That's fine. I had a good time.
It almost sounds like we have the exact same mindset. It is just pure, we just measure it differently.
Hmm.
Like we both have the same, oh, I like to play and improve
Hmm.
and get better and feel good. We just have different metrics of what getting good means,
Hmm.
you
That
know?
could be, yeah.
Yeah, or different levels of what types of getting good are interesting to us. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, we'll continue to explore that as the podcast continues.
And then I think sooner before too long we will never explore it again. Cuz I do feel like once you get out of the 70s and 80s, they get out of the arcades, it's like I don't know, there's no more scores. Like I think this
Hmm.
conversation dies once the high score goes away, doesn't it? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll see. I'm less even concerned with the score and more concerned with once we I feel like the era where every game is about technical skill. Right. Like the more modern we go, it seems to me, I don't know this, but it seems to me like games become far more interested in like environment or storytelling or experience and less interested in like, pure technical proficiency.
Yeah.
Um and so that also might start to go away where I start being like, yeah, I mean, I do enjoy that, but like some of the, maybe most games, that's just not a factor. And I'm judging it entirely on like, did I feel like I was immersed or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, the modern equivalent, fighting games,
Hmm.
any competitive stuff like Fortnite, that's really Rocket League, right? Those
Hmm.
are about the technical skills. Outside of those competitive games, you might say something like a Dark Souls,
Hmm.
where it's like, yeah, it's all about the technical skill of combat, but
Yeah,
also at the same time, there is a story and a world and all this stuff.
I guess that's all fair. Yeah. I mean,
I
the
don't
other
know.
issue, especially with like a modern competitive thing, is that I think by far my worst video game skill, like even beyond just having trouble platforming and having trouble remembering which button is which, is that my reaction time is really bad. Like it's really not good. Um like when I'm playing Asteroids, the only way that I'm going to be able to react to an asteroid that's about to hit me is if I'm constantly paying attention to every asteroid on screen. Like I can read that pattern, but I can't say, "Oh, there's an asteroid coming at me. I better turn and shoot it." Right? I need to know that like when it's like all the way at the edge of the screen, or else I'm fucked.
Get ready
Which,
to. I can't wait to see you try to parry attacks.
oh God, oh no, oh God. I mean, this is really. I remember earlier. Which one of our regular one of our regular. It might have been. Was it Sean? One of our regular listeners wrote in and was like, maybe you'll like fighting games because you're so good at
Mm.
rhythm games. And I was like, nope, because fighting games are not just about pattern recognition. You need to react to things. I don't have that.
You'll develop it over time, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I will. Who knows? Maybe I'm
I don't
too old
have.
for reaction time.
No, 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 no. I think you're not too old. You do have. I mean, you just. I think your fingers are just shit. You got to exercise those fingers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I got big lumpy fingers, not delicate little
That's right.
dexterous fingers.
You've got. Yeah. You need to be a
Stubbers.
limber thief like Bilbo,
Like Bilbo.
and not
Right.
not like a lumpy hobbit with fat fingers.
Right.
I'm not. I didn't mean to say fat. just like
I'm more of a
bulbous.
Gamgee than a Baggins is
Uh-huh.
what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. I don't have much in the way of classic review corner this week, other than to say that Asteroids was generally received very well. And this is another one like Space Invaders where it made the equivalent of $3 billion in a year.
Jesus.
I know.
I mean, no
It's
wonder they were
fucking
cranking these fucking things
crazy.
out, right? Like, if that's the money they're making, Christ.
I can't even conceive of that. $3 billion in a year in quarters. It's
Yeah.
all one quarter at a time.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, I guess this is really the thing is that imagine,
That's
don't even think
adjusted
of it
for
in terms of
inflation, by the way.
quarters. Think of it in terms of individual. Can you imagine if some studio put out a game and that game, just that game, made $3 billion?
Sure, yeah.
Just
I
that
don't
one
even
game.
like GTA 6 probably
Yeah.
won't even make $3 billion.
Yeah. To be fair, this is an entire genre. I mean, I guess it's half a genre now because it shares it with Space Invaders, but uh,
I mean,
still, it's
it's
crazy.
this. I guess it's the same thing as how, you know, the finale of MASH had like 80 billion viewers because there was just less to watch on TV, and similarly, there
Mhm.
were only so many games to play, so
Yeah.
the competition was so much lower at the
And there
time.
were a lot more people on Earth at the time, too.
Is that true?
Well, that's how it got 80 billion
Right.
viewers.
Well, I was including international.
Right. No,
Now,
I'm aware.
speaking of international, this is interesting to note. Japan did not like Asteroids.
Whoa.
It didn't do well in Japan. It was really America where it made all of its money. And there's some history here uh, that indicates that the Japanese market didn't like it because maybe it was too complex. The controls were a little too
Hmm.
intricate for
They're
them.
too dumb. Not like
Hey,
us.
come on. Hey, come on. I didn't say that. But yeah, didn't work out for them over there. But us over here in America, we loved those asteroids. And it is interesting because it is made by two American guys, whereas
Yep.
Space Invaders was Japanese.
What the fuck were their names? It was something ridiculous.
Lyle Rains and Ed Log with two G's.
Jesus.
Um, just a couple of cool guys, Rains and Log.
I don't mean to make fun or anything, but
No, it's all right. They're both dead now. No,
is
they're
that true?
alive. No, they're alive.
Mhm.
They also used hardware developed by Wendy Allen, by the way, in case you're curious.
Should I know who that is?
No.
Okay.
I just wanted to be thorough. I don't know. It was a good game. Look, I don't have. I don't. It's going to be a shorter episode this week. I don't have. We don't have any emails. I could read a YouTube comment. You want to read
What
a
are our
YouTube
listeners
comment?
doing? We're not going to be able to. We are trademarked 2-hour episodes, and you're not writing. How are we supposed to hit that shit?
Yeah, what happened? Nick No Name promised us 2 more in his trilogy of emails, and we haven't received them.
John is sick, Nick. Okay, we need your help.
Look
and
what
you're
you're
letting us
doing
down.
to me. Look what you're doing. I don't know. Steve P had a comment about wizardry. You want to read it?
Sure, go for it.
He said, I have tried a few times to get into these classic dungeon exploring RPGs, and I just can't. Wizardry, in particular, subscribes to the Lamau Gotham school of game design, which I am not a fan of. For a more user-friendly take on this style of game, I recommend Legend of Grimrock. Still difficult, but more user-friendly. Character progression is more consistent, enemies are not so overpowering, and the maps are varied and interesting. So should we add that to the list?
I mean, might be better than wizardry. but do I want to play another wizardry like?
Nah, I don't think we will.
Okay, thank you.
We could read some Discord comments.
I think suffice it to say, if you sign up for our Patreon, you can get Discord access, and then you could read some Discord comments. I don't think we should
Yeah.
give those away for free.
No, we're having a lot of fun over there, though.
Yeah, it's a really good time.
People are giving us feedback. We're chatting about the games, episodes. I'm posting fun video links.
It's just a great time.
People were kind of upset about, like, I saw several comments. Different people were sort of didn't really like your attitude on last week's show, and were kind of felt like you were being a little aggressive and scary.
Really, that's not what I read.
No, yeah, I saw several of them. Like that one person said, you reminded them of their abusive alcoholic father,
I don't think I saw that one.
and they actually started therapy because of it.
Oh, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. That is a good thing, actually.
Yeah, our podcast is helping people out left and right.
Yeah. Now
What
this
have
is we're talking about Patreon. Is that what you're gonna ask?
Yeah, go. Yeah, I was gonna move us on.
Patreon.com/badwithgames, where you can get Discord access and you can get our weekly bonus episodes. Last week we talked about the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. This week we're talking about the Marx Brothers. I'm very excited. Everyone listening is like, what the fuck? But that's what we're doing.
It's exciting. What about
if you want to, yeah. What?
No, keep going. No,
if you
tell
want to
me.
email us at badwithgamespodcast@gmail.com. We'll read it on the show if you have games you want to recommend or anything like that. That's all.
Please do. We need more filler. What about next week?
Man.
What game are we gonna play?
Next week will be an interesting one. Next week we're going to be playing King's Quest. The computer game Sierra developed, one of the first real adventure games, you might say, post text. Although there will still be text, I think.
I need one of these old computer games to hook me. I need to so that I can be excited again.
This one's going to be good. I mean, this is a. I shouldn't say that. I don't know if that's true.
But I don't trust you anyway. You can say whatever the hell you want.
We are, some of these genres, we are kind of jumping around all over the place, much to the chagrin of certain listeners. But we are taking a fairly linear path through the adventure genre from text to next week, King's Quest. And we'll see how that goes. We'll talk about it all next week. Should be a lot of fun. I'm over here saying, what about Queen's Quest? Because I'm a feminist.
That'll do.
That'll do, pig. That'll do. Thanks so much, everyone, for listening. And you're welcome for giving you a shorter episode this week. You're free to go now.
Gamers out!
Oh.
Or were you going to say something else?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking about Asteroids, and I wanted to say what Jimmy Neutron says. It got a blast.
Okay. Got a blast, Asteroids.
I gotta go to sleep. I gotta take a nap. Bad episode.